you were saying that React is something that you should definitely go for because the demand for it is so high. So for a fresher, because I think when you just told us that the demand is high and whatever you ask, you might get paid for it too. So for a fresher, where would be the starting point to start learning React?
So before even going to React, first of all, you need to start learning HTML. Okay, and first HTML it will take almost a week, not more than that. Like week, as in you can do parallel per hour if you just spend per day if you just spend 2 hours, and on a weekend if you just spend five hours, that's done. Like in 20 hours you'll be done with HTML, like core, like as much as you can. Okay, then you should start with CSS. Okay, and CSS will take a time. CSS is something that it can't be done in 1 week or even 1 month. It will take some time, but you need to know basics of CSS, how it positioning works, and one important thing of CSS is Flexbox. You should definitely know Flexbox, and you can try to learn CSS Grid. So these are the two things that you should know. CSS Grid is optional, but Flexbox is something you should definitely know when you're learning CSS. So once you're done with HTML, CSS, try to make a basic website of HTML, CSS. That's what I'll say. Okay, if you're not comfortable directly doing it, then follow some tutorials. Okay, go to YouTube or go to anywhere, follow some tutorials and try to do it, follow them, and then after that take another problem, take another simple website, just jot down all the requirements for the website. So this is the home page, contact page, whatever it is there, and now try to do it on your own. It will be difficult, it will be very difficult if you're doing it for the first time, but you do it and Google the stuff out, and whatever the problems are there, just do it. Okay, so that's one thing. Once you're done with HTML, CSS, then you should start with JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript, there are lots of concepts. Okay, I cannot cover in this call, but there are lots of concepts. Like you should know how to name the variables, and there are in-depth concepts that how objects work, how functions work, how arrays work, all those things that you should understand about JavaScript. And event loop, that is for sure. Event loop, you should know how event loop works, how the browser renders the UI. That is something that you should know, and you should understand what are difference between what is part of JavaScript and what is the part of Java, the browser. So DOM is something, like document object model, that is part of the browser, and it provides that API to JavaScript to use. So it's not part of JavaScript, it's JavaScript just as an API to interact with the browser DOM. Okay, so that's something more technical, but I'm just mentioning it. And then it will take a lot of time. It will take around 2 months for you to, if you're doing something with daily job and you're just spending 2 hours a day, then it will take around 1 to 2 months for you to learn that. And then you can start with React. Okay, for React, it will be not much time. If you are already learned JavaScript well, it will take 1 to 1.5 months. Okay, so that's one of the way. And there are different ways. You can go to YouTube tutorials, or you can find even in Google. If you can find written tutorials, or you can join one of the courses for Code Infinity. If you some people do prefer learning from a mentor. Some people do prefer learning from a coach. So you get a proper guidance. Okay, that's because mostly if I see in YouTube, all the courses are beginner friendly. They're beginner friendly. It's good to get started, but if you go and work on job, it is completely different. You will get overwhelmed that, okay, I just did a simple thing and now this is way more complex. So if you want to do that, then you can try for coaching. So for that coaching, one Board Infinity has a course, so you can try that.